Peace and blessings and namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I have a very brief message for you, a transmission, but I'm going to start it off with this story because it's really going to make sense to you once I say this to you, okay? So this week, I have successfully avoided the gym. Okay, I avoided the God of strength and awesomeness. It wasn't because I was being lazy. It's because I have said to you guys a million times, I am terrible with time management. This is why I have always had assistants and administrative assistants, and personal assistants during this time because I'm a A type personality. And if you don't know what personality types are, then go and look it up, especially in the workforce. And the A type personality is the big picture person, okay? I set the goals. It's typically the person that has the foresight about something. It's typically the one with the big ideas, the big goals, but we've sent teams overlooked all of the small details, so we work better when we're paired with C and D type personalities, okay? That go behind us, cross the T's and the I's and say, yeah, and I got one that's in on my team too, that's helping me out with all my typos and things like that. So I wasn't scheduling correctly, all right? So every time he was calling, like, hey, today is leg day, or today is arm day, or chest day, I was either trying to do a PowerPoint presentation or in a session. So to make a long story short, I did absolutely zero for my physical health this week. Now, this morning, I say, okay, I gotta go and I'm gonna find me some red heels, okay? And I went and got some red heels. And on my way driving down the street, I go past, or I catch out of my peripheral, Panda Express. Now, I have been avoiding Panda Express for a while because I have a thing for their blackened chicken. Okay, I have a thing for their blackened chicken, and I know that it's not the healthiest for me, but it's so doggone delicious. And as I am driving down the street, here comes the devil. All right, now, it's important for me to say that I'm not blaming any outside forces on this, okay? There was actually no devil. So when I am saying here comes the devil, I am talking about my other polarity. I am talking about the other side of my consciousness that is steady saying to me, oh, well, Sophie, you're already messed up this week, so why not just make it a cheat week? Go ahead and get that blackened chicken, all right? And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? You're right. So, honestly, I gave the devil a pound. Boom. I went and got the blackened chicken and I ate it all. All right. Now, what is the moral of the story? Okay. I'm going to break this down to you. Okay. It's not that I have a lack of discipline. It's that I have come through a lot of realizations about the things on this realm and how things work. And I'm going to share them with you. Number one, there are a lot of diet fads and a lot of diet trends and spiritual diet trends that are going out. There are people that are pushing veganism and vegetarianism, breatharianism, all of these things, okay? But the reality of the matter is each individual needs or should be eating according to their genetics and their blood types, okay? And what you will find is what diets may work for some may not work for others because there are different bloodlines. There are some bodies that are intolerable of meat. There are other bodies that are intolerable of dairy. There's other bodies that are intolerable of just veganism, okay? Because even in my vegan journey, I realized that I would get very, very, very weak, okay? So I switched from veganism to pescatarian. All right, because I realize I need a very high protein diet if I want to lose weight, if I want to be healthy, if I want to have energy, okay? So we don't try to push any type of eating on every individual because some classes, some star seeds, okay, have different genetics than the rest of you. So don't feel bad if you cannot keep up with certain trends, certain dietary trends and things of that nature. It might not be for you, sorry. So you have to pay attention to your body. All right. See if your body is healthy. See if you're losing the weight. See if you have the energy. See if you still feel light, and if you have to switch from veganism to pescatarian, do so. And if you're one of those people that can do veganism, but have to have meat every now and then do that as well. Okay. You're not going to be judged based off of that. You're not. Okay. We were already told, let no man judge you over the foods that you eat and drink. You know what I mean? It's not what goes in that defiles the man. It's what comes out. So anything that is going on with you spiritually is inward. Okay. You're not going to eat a piece of chicken nugget and all of a sudden become possessed by the devil or just be evil. Okay. If that happens, chances are you were already evil. Okay. So, I'm just saying, putting that out there to you, because after I ate my blackened chicken, I felt zero remorse behind it. As a matter of fact, I went on about my day and decided to come to do this video. But I am going to share this with you too. There's a term, if you are a student of the Oahspe and you consider yourself a faithist, there is a term called Druja. Okay, D-R-U-J-A. Druja. Look it up if you've never heard it before. Now, the Oahspe is a book that was written in the 1800s, and it was channeled by a gentleman, and I can't remember his name, but it's supposed to be written and channeled by the ambassador angels of Jehovah. And this book goes through the entire history of the world, like every single detail, to nations and nations, what Elohim rose, what didn't, what harvest seasons, what arc cycles, all of it. It is the most detailed book when it comes down to any type of biblical reference that you will ever find. Okay, they answer questions about the vortexes, how things are created, all of that stuff you can find in the book of Oahspe. But the book is about this big, and therefore, if you have ADD, it's going to take you maybe a year or so to even try to get through it, okay? Actually, if you have ADD, it might take longer than that. I've had this book for maybe about 3 years, and I'm still going through certain pieces of it. But the term Druja is referred to as disembodied spirits. And basically what they're teaching in this book of Oahspe is that the great spirit that they refer to as Jehovah, which is different from Jehovah, okay? But that's for another topic. The great spirit that they are referring to as Jehovah has created man to inhabit multiple worlds, okay? And what ends up happening is, it talks about how the angelic realm or the star seeds that descended upon the earth, once they was able to wrap themselves in flesh, that they were warned what to stay away from. And some of those things were, connecting with humans on a sexual level. All right. And because it would surely become a trap to them. And that's exactly what happened. All right. Everything that they was warned to do, they did the opposite of it, and it became a trap to them. Okay. So now, with these beings being trapped on the realm of earth, trapped in the flesh that they created for themselves, and then indulging in fleshly things, they became addicted to the earth. Okay, so when we're referring to a Druja, we're talking about ghosts, pretty much, who have not made it to, the angelic realms yet. They're stuck around on the earth because they have not practiced detachment. And I realize just how difficult it really is to practice detachment on this realm. This is not something that, everybody can just do. It's not something that I can just tell you, oh, stay away from this, stay away from that, and you'll be fine. Because most of us have grown accustomed to our atmosphere in which we live. If you are a fan of Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Z or any of that, it actually shows you this concept, which I found very, very amusing. There were two classes of deities, that were operating simultaneously in Dragon Ball. You have the Kais, which were the angelic realm, and these were the creator beings. And on the flip side of that, you had the gods of destruction, Beerus and all of them. And they kept perpetual balance in the universe. As one world was created, another world was destroyed, and some worlds, had to fight for their existence and things of that nature. And each one of these gods of destruction was paired with a Kai, okay? And the Kai kept the checks and balances with the gods of destruction. But there's an interesting character in here called Beerus. And Beerus is the Egyptian cat god of destruction, and he is hilarious. And the only thing that's keeping him from destroying the earth realm is the food. Is the food. Honestly. And he'll tell you that all the time. Earth has the best food. And as I was thinking about this with these Drujas, okay, and what I was reading in the Oahspe is some of the attachments to this realm deals with physical pleasure, things that are enjoyable, blackened chicken. You understand? So what happens? What happens after the soul leaves the body? Or what was supposed to happen? So when we make it through our earth school, okay, when we're learning, our lessons, when we are creating the society that we want to live in and enjoy, taking our power back, doing whatever it is that we're supposed to be learning, left by our ancestors to teach us how to navigate these realms successfully. Those who do not practice detachment find it very difficult to move on to different worlds. Okay. Now, there was a story that was written in the Oahspe where there were some new, fresh Drujas. All right. And these people died and the angels come. Okay. And in this book, what they say happened is the angels come and they take the body, okay, or they take the soul of the Druja and they have to clean it and prepare it. Okay. So they go through this purification of their light. And then they're on to their next assignments, okay? And their next assignments might be a different world, okay? Or whatever it is that they did not learn in human form, they're on to their next assignment to even perfect. And they're graded typically by their service, okay? Or their merits of what they've gotten accomplished on this earth, right? But in this story, some of them went away and then they wouldn't eat. Like they were going through depressions and the angelic realm was asking, they're not eating. Those who have not actually descended to the earth to understand, okay? They're not eating what's going on. And then they were told, well, ask them what they're used to eating. And these human souls were saying fish. And these angels had to come down to the earth and they would harvest and I guess seal it, wrap this, and then they would take it to the other world so that these people could eat, okay? But that was not something that was native to that realm of existence or that world. So what it was showing was that a lot of times disembodied spirits that hang around on this realm, they're doing so because of the pleasures of what this realm actually offers, i.e. blackened chicken, okay? So why am I saying this to you? There are some of you who do a lot of ancestor work, okay, or a lot of altar work, okay? And I'm not here to judge your spirituality at all, all right? If it is elevating you, if it is bringing you closer to the Creator, if it is allowing you to operate in righteousness, if you are living by the golden rule, okay, if you are harming none and you are just a beautiful soul, then it is okay. But there are some things that you need to know and understand. And number one, those of us who are clairvoyant, or psychic or even mediums, okay, if we are talking and dealing with higher realms of existence or things that are existing beyond the veil, or even tapping into beings that inhabit other worlds and things of that nature, these beings are absolutely designed to simply help you. They're serving as mentors. Discover and reconnect with your higher self as it pertains to your connection with the divine, to the Creator, okay? These deities, these beings of the light will never ask you for anything. Why? Because in order for them to have gotten to their realms, their dimensional planes of existence, which is starting at 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, they have had to have practiced detachment. So there's nothing that you can offer them. All right? They're only here to assist you on your journey, point out truths, help you with your discernment, help you understand what your powers are, help you understand the relationship with the Creator. And each and every one of them are designed to do that exact same thing. All right? So what I'm saying to you is, those of you who are doing altar work and you're finding yourself having to leave offerings like chicken or food or wine or this, that, and the third, chances are you are not entertaining higher levels of consciousness. You are entertaining and feeding Drujas. This is energy that have not ascended past this realm of existence. They are bound to the earth. Does that mean that they're negative? No. Okay? Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's like with everything in this realm. Okay? You have to have the discernment to figure out what is of righteousness, what is of light, and what is in opposition to your journey. Okay? Because what could be agreeable to you may be disagreeable to me. I'm only responsible for myself. You're only responsible for yourself. But those of us who are teaching or serving as mentors, we have a greater responsibility to make sure that you can function in your sovereign divinity. And we're only assisting you on how to do that. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to eat. All right? But I can tell you and point you in the right direction by saying you have to know what is agreeable to your body and what is not. But when you're dealing with this type of ancestral work and you're finding yourself having to leave food or drinks or perfumes, you are not dealing in higher levels of consciousness. You're doing yourself a disservice and the ancestor that you're dealing with. Why? Because the longer an energy is stuck on a realm and farther away from the light, the more ignorant that energy becomes. Pay attention. Okay? Because energy that does not ascend, but die in the state of consciousness that they were in when they were alive, they don't have higher knowledge yet. They have not transcended. They have not purified their light. So the same mentality that they may have had on earth is the same mentality that they're going to have in the afterlife. Do you understand? And this is what causes a lot of souls to be trapped on this realm because of the density of this realm. And what I mean by the density of this realm is because we're in this flesh, okay? Touch, the sensation of the skin, you know what I mean? What we can smell, what we can taste, what we can eat. You know, even sexual experiences. Like there's some Drujas that miss being intimate with a woman or being intimate with a man. And they will attach themselves to your energy when you're in this act to take it from you. Because, once again, they have not escaped these attachments to these worldly things. So a lot of our ancestors become bound, but not you. Okay, not you. What you are doing are assisting in freeing these Drujas, okay? Because you're learning, you're developing, you're teaching, they're listening, and then they can move on to the next realm. So some of you are breaking generational curses. Yes, some of you are freeing your ancestors. The Druja realm is a ghostly realm, okay? Inhabited mainly in the realms of Yetzirah. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this term, on Patreon, I did a whole PowerPoint video that describes the four worlds as it pertains to the all mind, okay? And it deals with the astral realms, it deals with the physical realms, it deals with the programming realms, and then it deals with the God-mind consciousness. And what I did with this PowerPoint presentation was cross-reference Hermetic science to Kemet science, Hebrew science, and Hindu science. Just to let you know that some of these concepts are not new. Okay? That they were cross-referenced by a multitude of people, and it was very diverse. And the Hermetic science pretty much comprised all of these different sciences: Hinduism, esoteric Hebrew or mysticism, okay, with that, and just kind of clumped it together, you know. Our big brother Tahuti did an excellent job of narrowing these things down, okay? So that is on my Patreon, okay? And you'll understand what world of Yetzirah means, okay? And where the astral realms lie. So the astral realms is the absolute lowest state of consciousness that one can achieve. And even though we're saying it in that way, you know, there are still others that want to get into that astral travel, that wants to get into that astral realm. You need to be warned, because in the astral realm, there is no division between light and dark. Okay? This is the first point where all souls go. So you can get trapped. You can get deceived. You can experience some things in the astral realm. Look at the movie Insidious. If you've never seen Insidious, some of you don't like horror. I'm a horror fan, okay, to a certain degree. I don't do it with gore and guts and blood and stuff like that. My body can't take it. Like, it bothers my neck. It's like really, really weird. But I deal in supernatural horror because I can understand the concepts behind it because my life is supernatural, okay? So therefore, it doesn't scare me as much as it scares others. I'm actually pinpointing what is error and what is not. If you're feeding Drujas, okay, and using them for energy exchanges, you're only going to be able to get but so far. If you want them to be able to teach you higher levels or help you with higher levels of sciences, you have to release them. They have to go through a purification. And then they have to ascend to higher realms so that when they come back to you, they have higher levels of knowledge. Okay? I was thinking and joking around with one of my divine masculine brothers, and we were talking about, hey, when we go to these other worlds, is there going to be pizza? It was just joking and stuff like that. And of course not, because we're not going to be in flesh, okay? So if we're not going to be in flesh, then we're not going to eat of the flesh. But we still found it funny that, maybe one day we'll just get a bowl of light particles, something to that nature. But will the soul still crave the things that it was used to on the earth? It will. If you don't practice detachment now. Okay? And I'm teaching you this and I'm teaching me that too, because the blackened chicken was calling to me. And I ate it. Right? Not really. Not really. All things are lawful. Not everything is expedient to you. You must understand what is beneficial for yourself and what is non-beneficial to you, okay? And you can't be judged. Don't let no man judge you according to this. Whatever decision you make for your diet, for your health, is between you and the Creator. You do not have to explain these things, okay? Like I said, genetically, we are all different. There is no cookie cutter diet that's going to fix all of us because we all have different bloodlines. And especially if you're a sun seed or if you're a star seed, you got different genetics. That's just what it is. Okay? So your taste, your cravings may be a little bit different. It's just what it is, right? Drujas are the number one thing, energies that are actually plaguing humanity. I know you want to say that it's demons, okay? I know that's what you want to say. But you have to understand that this universe is highly balanced, okay? Highly balanced, always, okay? So when you're talking about the demonic realm, okay, or the disagreeable realm with power, they are designed to be demonic and disagreeable to the angelic realm. This is where power is equally matched. Now, when it comes down to the earthly realm, what we get plagued with humans tend to get plagued with, more than likely are disembodied spirits that could be dark or evil spirits, not necessarily demons. Okay. Now, if you've never seen the movie Stigmata, it actually talks about this situation. There was a woman that was a Catholic, and the stigmata was supposed to be those who were blessed to have the wounds of Christ, okay, in the hands and the feet and things of that nature, which I honestly think is pretty doggone demonic and twisted, okay? But we'll talk about that later. But this is supposed to be a phenomenon where people who were chosen would experience the piercings of the hand and the feet. And in this movie, this woman kept being possessed, and she was experiencing the stigmatas. And the Catholic Church was like all blessing her because they're thinking, that it has to be a lineage of Christ. But as it started getting dark, and they couldn't control her, they then started saying, wait a minute, she's possessed by the devil, but she wasn't. She was possessed by a former priest. Okay? A former priest who was trying to get the true message of Christ out. And that the kingdom is within. Do you understand? Drujas have the ability to oppress humans, merge with their energy, okay, so that they can still feel what it's like to be human. They forgot. They don't like it. You know what I mean? They want to experience that chicken. They want to smell those flowers. They want to experience that intimacy, that sex. You know what I mean? And so they attach onto your energy and live vicariously through you. And for those of you who are feeding them and entertaining them, you are binding yourself with this energy. Unaware. They become dependent on you and you're becoming dependent on them. But the interesting part about it is your dependency will only be according to the level of the Druja itself. In order to bypass that type of system and get to higher levels of consciousness, you need to be asking to escort them home. I've said this before. Nobody believed it. But we do have the ability to assist them home. Some of you are living portals. Okay? I used to think for years and years and years that every place I went to was haunted. Until I realized, no, I'm haunted. It's me. Energy is attracted to me, not the dwelling places that I was in, but I would always experience paranormal activity. And in the very beginning, when I would experience these paranormal activities, ghosts, I've never experienced a poltergeist, okay, or anything negative or throwing stuff around or carrying on like that. Just very, very curious spirits that would hang around, or spirits that were caught in time loops, that was reliving the things over and over and over again. And then I realized that some of us, when they are attracted to us, it's because of the power that we have. Some of us were mediums. I never knew that I was a medium. I didn't really start understanding that I could connect and talk with the Drujas until 2019. Up until that point, I always assumed that every spirit that I was talking to was an angel or a deity. All right. So when 2019 hit and I'm actually seeing men walking through my living room, stopping and looking at me because they're noticing that I'm looking at them, and they're like, oh shoot, she can see me. And I'm like, oh shoot, can he see me? You know, that type of thing. That's when I realized, holy crap, if they're hanging around, they want something from me. Movie The Sixth Sense. Okay. All of these concepts are thrown out there. So now that I've understood that I am a psychic medium, okay, and not just a psychic, but a psychic medium, I can talk to these ghosts, these Drujas, and try to direct them to the light, to open up portals. And remember how I started this off? I said, you know, every place that I went, I thought was haunted, and some of us are portals. We are. Okay? Some of us are the actual portals. It's very interesting times that we are living in, isn't it? Since the veil is so thin now that you can see these things, experience these things, actually talk with the ancestors, actually see them. It has changed my life tremendously in the veins of and levels of understanding. I have always been a studious student, but with the ancestors' help, the ascended masters' help, I have become a lot more clearer in my understanding of how things work. Okay? So as I was reflecting on this journey of detachment and how difficult it is for some spirits to leave this realm because of their experiences on here, they become trapped. And the longer that they stay in that density and that lower vibration, the longer they remain in ignorance. Okay? And if you are wanting to help them, when they are around you, you need to be directing them to the light, asking them, you know, what it is that they want from you. Most Drujas that come through me or have found me, because let's just face it, we look like beacons. We do. Okay, anybody that is of the light, any one of you who are chosen, I don't care if you're dragon seed, sun seed, star seed, I don't care. If you are a chosen one, you are a beacon that is shining. You ever get in a plane and you see the little lights from people's houses and things that high up? That's what you look like to them. And they can spot you and they will always be attracted to you. Okay? Some of you may not be aware that this is even happening. Some of you deal with ghosts and Drujas every single day, but because that part has not been awakened to you, you don't know. You're just living your everyday life. But those of you who are clairsentient or clairvoyant, operating in any of the clairs, you know that from the moment you wake up, there's a whole nother world that's behind the veil that is coexisting with you at the exact same time. And some of you have the ability to see it. And if you have the ability to see it, then they know that you have the ability to see it, they're going to come to you. And it is not for you to feed them. It's not for you to give them alcohol. It's not for you to keep them trapped here. The higher levels of consciousness have no attachment to this earth. They don't want anything from you, but for you, to see you elevate, to see you connect with your higher self, to see you connect with God. Okay? To help you with your understanding, to mentor, to remind you of what their journey was like, where they messed up at, and so that you do not make the same mistakes that they do. Practicing detachment is your ally. It does not mean that you can't enjoy the things of this realm. It means that you'll be okay if you no longer have it. Do you understand? I'm not telling you to go into hermit mode and to live isolated in a cave somewhere, all right? And just not be around this or not be around people or not being around. Matter of fact, the most of us who make the biggest impact on this world is because we are around people. All right? We are. And because of our energetic field, we are influencing others through our speech, through our actions, through our words. So I'm not here to tell you that you are to go into isolation and not deal with these things. I'm saying to you, when you're practicing detachment, that you have to have the ability to be okay if you no longer have it. That it does not mess up your psychological processes. It does not mess up your mental state, your spiritual state, your soul's evolution. Okay? Because once again, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? Your reality will start to project what's going on here in your mind. And how you process your reality will either mean your earth is a heaven or your earth is a hell. Okay? I enjoyed my blackened chicken. I'm a spoiled Sophie. Sometimes. I do what I want, and I can't live in guilt, when it comes down to that, because I understand my body. And if I have a specific craving, I deal with that craving. But as long as that craving is not continual where it becomes obsessive, I'm okay. All right? Understand what Drujas are. All right? Understand what it is that you are entertaining. What is being asked of you while you're doing this. Okay? And be wise on this journey. I am Sophie. My God, I love you all. Bye.